Our main character, who I can't remember his name, he's Mullet. He's got an awesome mullet. Gets a knock on his door.
I remember his name, but Mullet's a lot better anyway.
And it's
what was his name?
Alex, yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, the wife of the dead guy knocked on his door. And she's like, I gotta show you something. And he responds with the most epic line ever.
Of course, she's in like a nightgown.
Yeah, she's got a nightgown on, and I've gotta show you something. And his response, let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
I mean, it looked like she was ready to take off the robe, too. It's like,
let me get my shoes. So they go up the stairs and into the attic, and when
are you gonna spoil it?
Yeah, we're spoiling this shit.
No one's gonna watch it of their own accord.
I hope not, anyway.
And he opens the door in this attic, and it's the friggin' waltz scene again. So we see the waltz scene for like the third time in the movie. The dead guy from the beginning waltzing with his wife. He pulls out a Luger and he shoots her after his most hilarious way of trying to stop her is to go, no, stop! And just raise his hand, and then bang, and he wakes up and it was all just a dream.
Like he's holding a fucking stop sign. It was hilarious.
And so it was all just a dream. And he has a new dream when he pulls open his blankets and sees the heads of the three people who are already dead.
And then he
wakes up again.
And then she
knocks on his door, and the same conversation we just watched a minute ago starts up with the same awesome response of, let me get my shoes.
Instead of any preparation on his part, he's like, I've had a dream about this part. Pretty bad shit's gonna happen.
Let me get my shoes.
And so he walks back up to the attic.
Apparently all he needs is fucking shoes.
Because he's got his damn shoes on, and he's going up to that fucking attic after all. And so, yeah, when they get into the attic, they find out that apparently, the waltz scene doesn't start. Instead, they find a book, and it says that the guy who was, dead found this magical incantation to bring puppets to life and stuff using the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which,
Because apparently you can bring puppets back from the dead.
I know, puppets come back from the dead all the time.
And apparently
they run
you can bring
downstairs.
yourself back from the dead whenever you use it.
And, yeah, the corpse is standing up now. He died, but he somehow brought himself back to life with his own accord.
Those are his words. Those are his words.
His own words.
So he's like, I killed myself. And I brought
myself back to life! Because, that's the way I'm immortal. Well, dude, how the fuck did you bring yourself back to life?
I think that merits a question or two.
God.
How do you... What?
I mean, why would you bother doing that if you were alive in the first place?
And, some stupid reveal that they're all psychically connected, and if he would have, killed himself and brought him back to life, eventually the others would notice or something. So he had to lure him there and kill him. And then he smacks one of the puppets, and all the other puppets get pissed off. And they basically kill him.
In the most protracted death scene in the universe.
It's like 5 minutes of him trapped in an elevator trying to escape. I mean, it's like the size of, an elevator. And he's trying to escape, and these puppets are trying to kill him inside the elevator.
This dude is supposed to be immortal, gets taken down by 3 fucking puppets.
Yeah, 3 little puppets kill him.
Yeah.
And, I'd like to make note, that's a really crappy immortality spell if, puppets can kill you.
Yeah.
And what's even funnier is, he just traps himself in the elevator. Basically.
And so...
yeah, even if the puppets weren't there, he would have just been trapped in the fucking elevator.
Yeah, because he couldn't open the door. I mean, he would keep on slamming it and was like, the door, it's locked, my weakness.
I mean, it could climb up the top and it could go anywhere.
And so after he's dead, the girl and the guy say goodbye.
And they walk out the front door,
He walks out the front door.
Which was locked in the...
Which was locked in the previous scene, and we never saw him get the key back. But
the question of the puppets is never resolved. The bodies are never talked about. They're just like...
Look, the people are just laying in their room. I'm guessing they never opened the elevator again. So, we got corpse in there, and maybe puppets, who knows. Because the puppets are never resolved. They're just
going to hang down a border sign on that particular elevator.
That's a bad elevator to go in. We've got an infestation of puppets. And as she says goodbye, she picks up the dead dog, the stuffed dog, and as she's walking up the stairs Suddenly the dog's alive again and walks up the stairs with her. Apparently she's a puppet master too or something. And that's how the movie ends. Seriously, no resolution, just...
Like the writer just pulled a question mark out of his ass and dotted the movie with it.
The only... Didn't she touch the guy's corpse at the beginning?
Early in the movie, yeah, she did. I think.
Well, then maybe she could have been the puppet master.
No, because he says himself he brought himself back to life,
well,
and then he tries to kill her.
But maybe it's because of...
I mean, he beats the shit out of her at one point in the movie. I doubt she's, puppet mastering him to beat the crap out of her.
I mean, it was probably like a magical touch kind of thing. Like
no, because the other people touch him, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, it's a funeral. You sometimes touch buddies.
No, the movie pretty much implies she learned the spell by reading the diary afterwards. I think that was pretty clear at the end.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I never really got
it. It was a murky
maybe
bundle of liquid shit.
Well, anyway.
It's a bit of a step, I gotta say.
It was a pretty big step to the entire leaps of belief you have to take into this movie.
Well, the fact that the guy says, I just brought myself back to life.
I know, that was pretty
it. That's the biggest leap you ever got to take.
I think if the movie actually had the potential to be good, if they would have changed a crap load of things. They really needed to cut down on the first-person camera at the feet.
God, that was annoying.
I mean... Let me get my shoes here.
Yeah.
If that's the best line in your movie, then you've got problems.
Yeah, that's the only moral I learned out here. You can handle any fucking situation if you are equipped and armed with shoes.
And the death scenes were way too drawn out. I know they were trying to be scary with this, but it was just boring.
I mean, even if there was a creep factor to be had, you blow it when the monster is revealed and shown for like 30 minutes. What feels like 30 minutes?
And... finally, the movie would have been much better if the chick would have actually been the puppet master. If she would have been behind it and, she was trying to kill all these psychics for, I don't know, come up with an excuse. And, she brought back the corpse of her husband and was just, using him as a tool to get to them or something. I think that would have been a better twist, personally. Yeah. But
that might have actually made it somewhat... Well, I mean, if they would have changed, maybe actually made it...
You'd have to rewrite the story a little, but it would have made it work at least, because it is right now the story doesn't even work.
Well, I was so confused in the beginning, the two trench-coated Nazis we kept calling them. They were just like, we know about your puppet magic, bitch. Oh, we don't know what organization
we forgot to mention the prologue, yeah. There's a prologue that takes place in 1939 that it's not even mentioned again in the movie, so I forgot to even talk about it. I forgot.
It was useless.
Yeah, pretty much this guy's making the puppets that you'll later on see kill people, except the puppets are all nice and shit now. And he puts them in a box inside the hotel, and some Nazi-type guys come and knock on his door, and he kills himself before they come in. The Nazis just kind of look at him for a second, then the scene ends, and it's never mentioned again.
Here's the thing what happened to the Chinese puppet?
Yeah, it was a Chinese puppet in the beginning that looked like a Fu Manchu type thing.
He was Captain Hawkeye looking out the window and shit, and he's like, get in the box, and then never seen him again.
Yeah, he was like their freaking scout in the entire opening prologue, but he doesn't show back up later. Instead, they've got the girl puppet who wasn't in the prologue.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Maybe it was him.
More questions.
I don't know.
There's a lot of unresolved stuff in this movie.
Here's the question I have. If the guy put him in a box, closes the box, locks it, hides it in the back of a wall, how the crap did the puppets get out?
I think, and once again, I'm taking a couple of leaps of faith here.
I mean, I guess I could
Gallagher, the dead villain guy, I think he found them because the scroll with the spell to bring the dead back to life was in with them.
Oh,
so I think he opented it up and found the scroll and brought the puppets back to life as an experiment.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Which actually, that's another one. The Gallagher's, the villain's wife, the surviving chick, her family died before the movie, and he says his first experiment with the dead was on them, but you never see her parents.
Yeah.
It's like that's mentioned, but it never comes back into play that he brought them back into life. Yeah, there's so many gaping plot holes in this movie, it's hard to cover them all.
And I mean, maybe if the movie was funny or exciting throughout, you could maybe get some kind... I can understand why people would enjoy this movie, but why?
As things stand, as I mentioned earlier, it has 9 sequels. 9 sequels.
Picture this. No, you can't picture this because...
Picture this quantity.
Imagine watching this movie 9 times. That's basically what you're doing.
And
Actually, I don't know. Maybe the sequels are better, but that's like
They're not.
saying-
I've seen a couple of them. This one's at least only an hour and 25 minutes. The other ones are longer.
What? How long?
They're more like an hour and 45 and stuff.
Oh.
Not that much longer, but you still have to sit through more of this crap. Okay.
And they got rid of Mullet Man. If they would have put Mullet Man back in, maybe it would have made it tolerable.
Nobody in this movie has like a career outside of this movie. They're not even in the sequels.
I mean, this is probably a big career duster right there. I hope Southern Belle Lady never got hired ever again.
I mean, I should make note that I looked it up earlier. The guy who directed this film actually had several theatrical releases, and then he did this, and after it was direct-to-video only. This literally killed his career. So yeah, it's wonderful.
I can see that.
All right, 1 through 5 stars. What would you give it, Nate?
Probably a 2, because it was just so boring to sit through. But there were a few funny parts that made it watchable. At least, or maybe it's just because there's 3 people in the same room. But you watch it by yourself, you might get a laugh or two just of how crappy it is. But honestly, I couldn't see myself watching this movie again.
Inca, 1 out of 5.
I would give it a shit out of 5 because you could pretty much cobble together the 4 scenes that were funny and then just cap it off and then like have some funny music play and then at the end be like,
Nike,
let
just
me
do
get
it.
my shoes, and then that would be the movie. And
Nike, just
you
do
could have
it.
been like, I giggled, it was funny, and then it was only 12 minutes of my time.
Okay, I'm going to go against the group, and I'm going to give it 3. My reason being, for the 1989, the special effects with the puppets were actually pretty creative. Like the puppet that has human hands, that's actually pretty creative for the time period. The deaths, while ridiculous, are actually pretty gory. The makeup on the one who has the drill through her face is actually pretty decent.
Until you get to zoom.
Until you get a zoom in, but once again, considering it was 1989, they did a pretty good job.
I'll give them that.
The acting is horrible, but I've seen so much worse in some of the horror movies I've seen that I can forgive it for that. And as Nate said, it should probably be 2 stars, but let me get my shoes just raises it up 1. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's just something. Just save it.
And the random pantyhose moment was pretty amusing.
Nothing compared to let me get my shoes.
And the Inception dream was kind of amusing.
Yeah, Inception, the PuppetMaster.
Like, this is one of those movies that needs to be made into the YouTube poop or something. Where this, after every so often, that guy just wakes up from a dream or something. That'd be fucking hilarious. I would watch that all day.
I'm going to remember that.
Let me get my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
And then we'd wake up in the middle of saying that. Let me get my shoes.
Well, this has been another SOG Obscure Movie Review. Hope you all enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do another recording sometime. So I can torment my guests again. I'm Sir Evil Laughter here.
And if you watched all 23 minutes of this, congratulations.
Yay! Except, it's not watching, it's listening, you dumbass.
Well, I might have put funny pictures.
I am God.
I thought you were a cat.
I'm a cat god.
That's better.
Ugh. Alright, who's going to hit the record button?
One last thing, Dynamite is also nice.
Oh no. He's going to push the button. He's going to push the button. No, 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 no.